everybody? It's Tony, aka Natural Boss, and I'm back with another video. In today's video, I want to talk to you about how I retain my length. And so I get a lot of questions about, quote unquote, how do I grow my hair so fast? Or people tell me that whatever they do, they can't get their hair to grow. And it's not really a matter of growing your hair. Some people's hair grows faster than others. Some people's maybe a little bit slower or whatever. But I feel that the real issue is retaining your length. So your hair grows, but you don't keep any of it because you don't know how to take care of your hair. Or there may be some other reason, but most of the time it's because maybe you don't have a good routine. So I'm going to tell you guys my top 5 tips for retaining length. And so my hair has been long or somewhat long a lot of my life, but as I've said in other videos, I've damaged my hair before with bleach, color, you name it, bad relaxers. And I've also cut my hair on, had haircuts on purpose. So it's not like my hair just stays long forever. I have to grow it back out a lot of the time. And in order for me to do that, it's important that I know how to retain the length. So my first tip, and this, I'm sure people say this till they're blue in the face, is to trim your hair. But I add, in addition to just trimming your hair, my personal opinion is to trim it often. And I know it sounds crazy, and to a lot of you it may sound counterproductive. I actually think a lot of people think any kind of trimming, even every 6 weeks, is counterproductive. I don't. I probably trim my hair almost every week. And I know that sounds crazy. When you trim your hair, it doesn't mean you have to take an inch off. You just kind of dust the ends. I mean, not even like, I don't know, a centimeter or something like that. Split ends are a major cause of breakage. Hanging on to split ends is what I see people do most often, and which is what I believe is what their problem is as far as hair growth or retaining their length. The thing to keep in mind is that the more often you trim, when you do trim your hair, the less you'll have to trim. So if you wait 6 months or a year to trim your hair, you're more than likely going to have to take off quite a bit of hair. But if you trim your hair, like say every 2 weeks or maybe once a month or something like that, if you take care of your hair, you should only have to trim a little bit. Now, this might not be the case for everybody. There's a lot of people. I have people in my family, for example, who can go like months without trimming their hair, and they for some reason don't have split ends, whatever. I'm not saying it's the same story for everybody. Most people I know, to me, they should trim their hair more often than what they do, and I feel they would have more success as far as retaining length. My next tip is to deep condition your hair every week. And I know this might sound obvious to some, but believe it or not, a lot of people, when you say this, it's like, oh, really? Once a week? Yeah, deep condition your hair once a week. Now, I don't mean necessarily that you have to buy some kind of fancy type or expensive conditioner or mask or anything like that. Even if you just use like a regular conditioner, to me, you should sit under the dryer with a plastic cap on your head for at least 20 minutes. That's what I do. I do it a minimum of 20 minutes and actually pretty much a maximum of 30. I don't want to go too far with it, but yet I want enough so that the conditioner is actually penetrating my strands. I prefer to use a deep conditioner that has a moisture and protein balance. In my personal opinion, they're very hard to find, and being that I only use fragrance-free products, it makes it even harder to find. As a matter of fact, actually, I haven't found a good one that's fragrance free. So if you guys know of one, let me know. Now, if you're a person that's sensitive to protein, obviously you don't want to use a protein conditioner. But if you're not, I highly recommend finding something that's moisture plus protein. But if you can't do that anyway, just a deep conditioner that's moisturizing will be better than nothing. And I know some people don't even wash their hair once a week. And if that is what you do, fine. This is what I do, and this is what's worked for me. And when I don't wash my hair once a week, or let it go, if I let it go more than 2 weeks, I'll say, I can definitely feel and see the difference in my hair. So I personally don't recommend it. My next tip is another one that may seem obvious, but a lot of people don't do this or don't really know about it, believe it or not. And that's to moisturize and seal your hair. And so the popular methods are the LCO, which is what I use, or the LOC method. And so what you want to do is, for me, the LCO method, I use liquid or a leave-in conditioner. And then I use cream, and then I seal it with an oil. I What you seal it with, what you choose. Like, a lot of people don't like coconut oil. It's a good sealant though. I use castor oil most of the time. You can also seal your hair with a butter like shea butter if you choose to. Or you can also do like a mix of different oils to use to seal your ends. I know of somebody who actually sealed their ends with Vaseline, and her hair was like crazy long. So if you find something, whatever works for you, it's fine. But just when you moisturize it, to me, always make sure you seal in the moisture. Also, just because you wash your hair, like say on Saturday, doesn't mean that that moisture from that deep conditioning treatment is going to last the whole week. So if your hair gets dry through the week, don't let it just go and say, well, I'll wait till the next wash day. Moisturize your hair through the week, even if you have to do it like 2 or 3 times. The next tip I have is something that a lot of naturals talk about, but I take my tip a step further, and that's wearing protective styles, or wearing protective styles at least most of the time. I want to take it a step further and add that wear protective styles that don't tangle up, mat, or damage your hair. And so what I mean by that is, like, a lot of people wear wigs, which is fine. I'm not against wigs at all. I actually have a wig. I've never worn it, but I have a wig. But what people do is they'll wear a wig, and then I guess they think just because they have this wig it's protective, and they don't like wash their hair, condition it, or oil their scalp, or moisturize their hair at all the whole time. And so therefore when they take the wig off, their hair is all damaged or dry or whatever. Another thing is like braids. Like, people be like, oh, I'm getting my hair braided to wear this protective style or whatever, and it's supposed to make their hair healthier. Well, if you get braids and they're either so tight that they're ripping your edges off, or you're not keeping your hair clean, conditioned, and moisturized with the braids, or your hair is the type that when you take the braids out, it's all matted up and hard to tangle and you end up losing a lot of hair, then there's really no point in the protective style unless you're just doing it for the look, but you're not really doing it to protect your hair. Protective styles don't have to be braids, like contrary to popular belief. A lot of people think when you say protective style, they mean putting your hair in braids. I haven't worn braids probably like 10 years, but I protective style, I wear my hair in twists a lot, and I don't add any hair or anything. I twist my hair, but if you want to add hair, whatever, that's fine. Weaves can be a protective style. Again, if you take care of your hair, it's kind of defeats the purpose if you're not going to do anything with your hair while you're wearing the weave. The point of a protective style is like low manipulation or no manipulation, and also that your hair is tucked. So just like saying, oh, I wear a ponytail every day, I don't touch it, that's not a protective style, because your hair is kind of like just out and loose in the elements, and that can cause your hair to get dry, so that's not really protective. It's more like braids, twists, even a bun is considered a protective style. Last but not least, I don't hear a whole lot of people talk about this one, but it's something that I just really believe in, and that's how you detangle your hair. I hate detangling my hair, and that's why, like in my previous video, I said I started stretching it more. It just takes a really long time, and no matter what conditioner I use, I can't say that the detangling comb or brush or whatever goes right through. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So what I recommend, number one, like I said in the previous tip, don't wear any styles that are going to cause your hair to get all tangled up. Like for me personally, wash and goes make my hair tangle up and makes it super hard to detangle. If that's not the case for you, fine, but I don't wear wash and goes that often just because my hair is so tangled and matted afterwards. I know that's not the case for a lot of people, but for me, that doesn't really work. Also, I recommend not detangling your hair when you're angry, irritated, or in a hurry. And I tend to do that a lot. Like, I don't like spending a whole lot of time on wash day, so I just kind of detangle my hair any old kind of way, and I end up losing a lot of hair. So I recommend, like, don't do it when you're tired or anything like that. Do it when you have time, when you're not mad, taking whatever out on your hair. Also, like, be kind of patient. Like, if you run into a knot or something like that, don't just take the comb or the brush and just rip it through. Try to detangle it with your fingers first to loosen up the knot. Also, I recommend, everybody doesn't do this, and I used to didn't do it because I thought it was silly, but I recommend detangling your hair with your fingers first, and then getting all like the big obvious knots out, and then using a detangling comb or brush. My favorite tool is the Tangle Teezer Ultra. That's like the Tangle Teezer that has a handle on it. And I've tried like almost every one. That's like just my all-time favorite. And then in addition to those steps, as far as detangling, I recommend to not detangle on dry hair. And even if you don't want to do it, I recommend detangling when you have the conditioner in your hair, when you've applied conditioner. But even if you don't want to do that, if you want to do it ahead of time prior to like washing your hair, I recommend like using oil or something like that to detangle, and still finger detangling first, and then using a comb or brush. But definitely just don't do it dry, to me, for like any reason. So do it either with oil prior to washing, or with while you have conditioner in it. And also, if you don't want to detangle like in the shower with the conditioner in your hair, let's just say, if you have a good detangling leave-in conditioner, you can detangle your hair at the point when you're applying the leave-in conditioner. That works as well. So anyway, just those are my tips. I mean, there's a lot of other things you can do too, but these are just things that I've been really sticking to, and they have helped me retain length. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.